Ladies and gentlemen, our second catch of the night, Contingents. If you like live music, the Gulf Coast Music Listening Room event at Spring Hill College is where you should be on Saturday, September 27th at 7 p.m. For $10, come enjoy some originals and make connections with other music lovers. A listening room is a respectful environment for the sole purpose of observing great music. As of now, no alcohol or any other outside substances will be permitted. To buy pre-sale tickets, find us on Cash App at $ Gulf Coast Music and show your receipt at the door. We'll have t-shirts. See you guys there. What makes a guitar so elegant? You don't need the headphones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What makes a guitar so elegant? That's a question. I mean, design, principles of design, just the way it flows, the way it feels in your hands, the way it resonates. I mean,
This thing's slick, man.
thanks. Yeah, I latched onto it immediately. It was one of my favorites for sure. It's a newer like style that they came out with like the curves and the all that stuff. So
What do they call it?
this one's called the Meteora, Fender Meteora. Yeah.
Is that the brand name or is that just the nickname?
That's the model, Meteora. The brand is Fender. Yeah,
Gotcha.
one of the biggest guitar brands. This was in the back of the shop, like it was broken. It wasn't the electronics weren't working, so I took it and
Don't judge a guitar by its strings.
right, yeah. But yeah, man.
Really cool. So yeah, what sorry, I may have missed it. What was the consensus on a guitar's elegance?
Oh yeah, just design, the way it feels to the player, the way it looks with the player, and the proportion to whoever's playing it really is what makes it. It's probably 50%.
Yeah.
Of course, there are some guitars that are just like, nope, that's ugly, that's gross. But it's pretty rare, honestly. I mean, it's wood, metal and strings.
Yeah,
So.
it's all about that sixth string.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think the different shapes, the different sounds, the different textures. What's kind of the most nuanced texture or style that you've run across?
Oh man, the fret wire being stainless steel.
Sheesh.
That's been the biggest one. So like there are things that have like that, like the stainless steel frets, these like curves and contours and
That's how I used to assess my Beyblades back.
right. Yeah, stuff like that's becoming more and more popular. Ibanez is a brand that's making crazy good stuff. They're out of Japan. And they're doing stuff for like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani, the Super Shredders. Is how they got started back in the day.
Mm.
So stuff like that's probably the slickest.
Some ninja guitars.
Yeah.
You ever when I first saw this, I thought it was right out of the Gooby Goober movie, the SpongeBob.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever tried to recreate or conceptualize what that would be like, recreate the Gooby Goober?
No, but I will now. I'll give that a shot. Yeah.
I kind of stumbled across a YouTube video of this guy trying it, but it's before coming across your page, I hadn't, I guess, seen guitars in this light, and be it Blues Angel or your page, the different styles and stuff. I mean, it takes the complexity of the guitar to a different level.
Oh yeah.
As an instrument, would you say it's the most complex of an instrument?
Honestly, in some ways, it's pretty complex to try, especially like from a working on it perspective. There's like physics involved and the math of how to actually make it work. But there's, at its very basic, core, it's just strings and you've got them stuck between two ends and tightened up, tuned to pitch. I mean, so in some ways, yeah, but primarily back in the day, the first guitars were pretty basic. They were just, the first electric guitar, especially, it was nicknamed the Log because it was just a 4x4 post with strings that the guy put on it. Les Paul, it's the first electric guitar builder.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
Welcome, guys, to the Gulf Coast Music Podcast. Today's new wave, Aidan Barry representing Blues Angel,
Blues Angel Music, yeah, Pensacola, Florida,
the #1 guitar shop in the Gulf East.
and yeah,
Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast. Yeah, we try. Yeah, uh, it's crazy how many folks come from all over. Just some folks drive up from Mississippi 3 hours, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, I just wanted to come check out the shop." It's like,
Right.
wow, but yeah.
The Disney World of guitars.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you walk in and it's like toy store, candy store. It's just like whoa.
That's cool.
So yeah, we try and make it as fun as it can be.
Right. And wow, so from a business side of things, I mean, to be doing something that you're so passionate in as a means to live by is I would assume at least that you guys are able to to afford your lives off of selling guitars. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a blessing, that's for sure. I mean, yeah, the ability to say that I work full time doing guitar repair is
Right.
pretty rare. I mean, but it's needed. I mean, like I said, we're one of the biggest guitar stores on the Gulf Coast, and whenever it comes to serious high level repairs, like I need my vintage 1960s Martin, I need that to be rebuilt. I don't know who to take it to. Where do I go? And so
Right.
they'll go online, and between New Orleans and Jacksonville, there's not really anybody doing this level of repair stuff. So it's cool to say that, to be able to say that, but it's also it's like, man, wow, there's just so many repairs out there to do. So it's a two-sided coin, but we appreciate it.
The demand is not an issue, like in terms of meeting demand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's a good thing,
Yeah.
but it keeps us busy
It's
all the
always
time.
going.
Yeah.
And you guys are also making guitars.
We like to, and like our free time, the techs in the back, me
Right.
and 3 other guys, Jesse, Taylor, Wilton, Jesse O'Neill is his name. His band is Bangerang Peter. They're on all the socials, and they play all over the place. But he likes to do basses, and so he has the shop at home to really dedicate to building. Really, me and Taylor, we just haven't had the time, so we've mostly focused on repair. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
Dang, dude. So it's like y'all have a deep team then working Blues Angel.
yeah, we try. Yeah, there's 3 of us in guitar repair, stringed instrument repair. We do basically everything from banjos to upright basses. But we also have a team that does the brass and woodwind stuff for schools, and we also have a guy that does amp repair. If your PA needs some work, if your guitar amp needs some work, if your
Right.
soundboard needs some work,
Wow, man.
So yeah, we try, and we've tried to hit every
Yeah.
every base we can.
Y'all are the primary care providers.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Man, no, it's actually really cool that you guys are like the one-stop shop for music repairs.
That's actually, yeah, it's what we tried. It's what we kind of market ourselves as for the most part.
Nice, man. Does it ever get old, dealing with, do you ever forget that there's even music involved and you're just seeing objects?
Man, that happens more often for us on the repair side of things. Yeah, the retail guys, I don't think so quite as much, because they they're slinging guitars, effects, cables, pedals. They're making sure everybody's got what they need.
Right.
But for us, yeah, sometimes you're looking at something small and you're zoomed in on,
Yeah.
each one of these frets is its own job when you're putting them in. And so it's like, man, I've been doing this for 10 hours straight and I'm ready to go home. And then you get home and your guitars are on the rack and you're just like, I don't even want to touch you anymore. 'Cause you're just, but yeah, so.
No, that's awesome. And sorry, if you could just always remain close to the mic.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
My parents are always getting on me about.
People moving around here.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I've got so many questions. Because you said to refer to the marketing team to
Yeah.
contact you for the podcast, and I caught off guard. I was like, "Is this dude Post Malone?" You know?
Yeah.
But now that you're breaking it down, that you guys have a deep.
Yeah. It's not just me doing a solo thing. Yeah. And so I wanted to make sure we could get the store's name out too, because we're trying to grow that. We were doing huge numbers of sales, especially with COVID and online sales. And
How long have you guys been at it? So
Blues Angel has been open since the '90s, late '90s, I think.
got it.
Yeah, I've been there for about 2 years, so 2.5 years now. Yeah.
Is there anybody there since the 90s?
There's a couple guys. Yeah, the shop manager, Mike Clark. He is like the all-seeing eye of Pensacola. He knows
Really?
the history, and he he's been
I'll
doing
get him
stuff with right. He's been doing stuff with all the different music stores. I mean, I think he was with Tringus he wasn't with Tringus, but he was with Dollar Hyde Music for decades. I mean,
How old is he?
he is, I think he's 60s, early 60s. Yeah, and then, Jim, the owner, Jim DeStaffney, and his wife, Nan DeStaffney, they're still operating it. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Cross section of like the music scene in Pensacola. It's pretty cool.
What a cool gig, man. Yeah, just from a getting it off the ground in the beginning standpoint.
Yeah.
Music feeds the soul, but food feeds the future. Right here on the Gulf Coast, thousands of families don't know where their next meal is coming from. Feeding the Gulf Coast is changing that tune one meal at a time. Imagine this. For every $1, you can provide up to 5 meals. That's like turning a quiet solo into a full-blown jam session of hope for someone in need. Let's turn the volume up on kindness and down on hunger. Visit feedingthegulfcoast.org to donate today, because together we can make sure no one goes hungry on or off the stage. Feeding the Gulf Coast, because every community deserves an encore. Whoa, 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 don't let the dogs out. The City of Mobile Animal Shelter has many loving pets ready for a nice home. Whether you're looking for a dog like Snoop or a cat like Doja, the City of Mobile Animal Shelter is where you can find your next friendly companion. They're located at 855 Owen Street, and you can stop by anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We all need a little bow wow in our lives. Call 251-208-2800 because the City of Mobile Animal Shelter has you covered. That's 251-208-2800. Roof! To build a team around that, when do you think they were able to build the team? When it became from, I guess Jim started it then?
Yeah.
When was he able to add more people than just his wife?
I'm not sure what the turning point was. I think he always had folks who he hired to help him just take care of things around the shop. But probably early thousands is when they moved into, we're at 457 North Pace Boulevard in Pensacola, and that store has been a music store almost, if not since it's been built, almost since it was built. That building has been
from different
folks running a guitar and music sales operation. And so they moved to that building, and that's when things really just exploded. I mean,
it was a good location.
Yeah. And it was big too. So we were able to actually keep a sizable stock. And then we moved into doing repairs and pro audio. So we do speaker and lighting and video installs for
not just guitars.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
at some point you're able to branch out from, Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really fascinated in the growth of a company.
Yeah.
Where do you think the company's headed in the next few years?
We're trying to keep it, keep it going strong. The last couple years have been difficult for every small business. It's been, especially in the entertainment scene, it's been kind of a rough couple years with not necessarily post-COVID, but just like the socio-political stuff that's been keeping everybody struggling. But we're, growing the marketing team. We're branching out into getting more inventory for the shredder, that whatever the trends are, we're trying to keep up with those. Right. So it's going well. Repairs is doing great. Obviously, I mean, they were able to hire me a couple years ago, and it's only gotten bigger and better since then.
How did you apply?
I
put a guitar together really fast or something.
I went to a school for repair and building out in Atlanta, and after that, I kind of
was that a bold move?
It kind of was. I knew it was something I wanted to do. Guitar repair.
I envy that, man. Like being able to chase something that you want to do.
It was hard, but it is worth it. Yeah. And so I highly recommend. Yeah. but I did that, and then I came back to Crestview, where I lived with my family at the time, and I met a drummer who was good friends with the owner of the store, Jim, and he was like, "Hey, well, they're hiring a tech actually right now. If you want to apply, I'll let them know."
That's
and so, he handed him my resume. I sent them my resume and drove up there and was like, "Hey, I'd like to get a job. I'm looking for employment." And I brought the guitar that I built at school, which, the first time you do something, it's never usually the best time. So
It feels like it's the best.
yeah, it does. It felt great. So I handed him. I was like, "I'll go get that guitar if you want to see it." Because I wasn't sure if they wanted to interview me.
Right. He's
And
like,
so,
is this a trumpet?
yeah, right. I brought it to him, and they were like, "Ooh, that's pretty rough." I'm sure. I haven't even asked my coworkers who reviewed it what they thought. First
Okay,
impression.
Les Paul.
Right. Yeah. But it went well. So the interview went well. They brought me on, and it's been good.
Sorry to stray off of
Oh, no problem.
guitars specifically, but yeah, I've entered the workforce as well recently.
Yeah, yeah.
Like full time as opposed to just holidays in the past. And
Sorry for your loss.
exactly. And this whole summer I've just 8 to 5, 8 to 5. At what point does it, or if it does it not become so monotonous? Maybe like, especially if you're doing guitars all day, just thinking on those weekends, like, all right, the next 5 days, just gonna grind it out again.
Yeah. For me, I was lucky to be able to kind of define my schedule and say like, okay, these are the hours that I'm going to work. So I interrupted it with
That's good.
instead of taking a 5-day work week, I do 4 10s. And so that gives, and I break it up, so it's like every other day.
Gotcha.
So that helped majorly. Being able to do music also helped tremendously, and trying to stay involved in the scene and meet folks.
Wow, that's terrific. Is that a common thing to break it up, 10 each day? I mean, 10 every other day.
I don't know about common. A lot of shops are very small, independent shops. So it's like maybe a handful of employees who have scheduled hours for people to come visit. So it's like, okay, we're going to be open from say like 8 to 4, but we're only going to be taking walk-in clients for from 11 to 3. So there's lots of different ways to kind of get around it if you can. If you're doing something that that you love doing, it's a lot easier, obviously, too. But that's the best advice that I could. That's my opinion on it, really.
No, that's awesome. I think the gig is super super sweet, and that you're very lucky to have something
Absolutely,
like this.
absolutely.
It's I mean, we're all lucky for the work, but yeah, this is awesome. Hey fighters, listen up. Are you tired of feeling like your conditioning holds you back in competition? It's time to bridge the gap between theory and real performance. At Dexter's Fitness Center, we're launching a combat sports strength and conditioning program designed for boxers, kickboxers, MMA fighters, and combat athletes who want to get faster, stronger, and more flexible while building the endurance to go the distance. No more outdated workouts, no more burnout. This program is built to enhance your skill work, prevent injuries, and maximize your potential without wasting your time or overwhelming your body. Training starts August 12th at Dexter's Fitness Center, 1900 Government Street, Mobile, Alabama. Sessions are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. If you're ready to step into every fight confident, prepared, and in peak condition, call 251-709-2654 or email contact@dextersfitnesscenter.com today. Let's build the fighter you're meant to be. Do you ever get nervous working on an expensive guitar?
Yeah, there are times, especially when you're talking about doing complex, repair work, complex mods. It's like, if you've got somebody's guitar that you're about to drill a hole into, or you're about to like pull the trigger on a router and modify it forever, like that's something that can, especially for me when it comes to routing, it's like not only are you dealing with a horsepower machine that you're cutting wood with, you're also doing it to something that's worth more than you are. So, ooh, like that's a $5,000, and I haven't had to do that yet necessarily with $5,000 kind of things. But when
that's
you're
like an ant lifting a Lay's chip or something, it's
right,
like, don't drop it.
don't
the
drop
whole
it. Yeah,
counting on it.
right. Yeah, but yeah, there are times.
Gosh.
But
What's the most painful part, be it mentally or physically draining, of putting together a guitar? Rebuilding a guitar.
probably there's oh man, number one is probably when you do a ton of work for somebody, for a client, and they're and you love the guitar, and you're just like super excited to be able to say that you're working on the guitar, and then they come pick it up and they're either unappreciative or they're just not a player, and it's like, oh man, I just put hours and hours into this guitar, and this is the sickest thing. Like this is like this is an heirloom piece now. It's awesome. And they come and they pick it up and they play like a chord or two, and they're like, oh man, this is great. And then they leave. You never see the guitar again. You never hear from them again.
So it's expected that they play on site.
It's not necessarily expected. It's definitely recommended though. When you pay a lot of money for something, especially, if it's like service, you get your car worked on, you want to make sure your car's, you want to drive your car, make sure it works before you.
Right. It's like after you get the haircut, you're supposed to look in the mirror.
Exactly. And so sometimes folks don't do that. And then that's probably the most disappointing, Right. That's for me.
Like,
anyway.
if you play that, a groundhog comes out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Miracles happen. The sky will part.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I think there's a lot of comparisons to like a bike shop too.
yeah.
Like, but the model's slightly different in that bikes, people need for travel. Guitars, it's like a recreation.
Yeah.
But it's cool how music defies that. Like, people need music.
Right.
They don't need it, but they need it.
Right.
The same way that somebody with a bike could walk, a bike would get them there faster, but a lot of people feel they need bikes because it's just part of the culture,
Right. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, what part of the process is the most fun?
Probably the opposite of what I had said that wasn't fun. It's when you do something and you figure it out and you get it, it's when you figure out that problem that's been haunting you for the last couple weeks, and then you're able to finish the project, and then when whoever you're working on it for comes to play it, and then they really enjoy it, and then it's like they're able to play, up and down.
So satisfying,
yeah. We had a guy come in from, I think, Fairhope, and he, just shred machine, and he brought in a guitar, and I can't seem to remember his name. I wasn't the one who did the work.
Gotcha. If you find the receipt,
I'll let you know. Yeah,
send the receipt to me.
Yeah, he's got a big channel, so I'll ask my coworker about it. But he had some work done, and we did the fretwork in one of his guitars, and he came to pick it up, and he brought that thing onto the floor, plugged it into an amp, on the sales floor, and just melted faces, just destroyed for far too long. And me and my coworker looked at each other, and we just looked at the guy, and we looked at each other, and it's like, man. All right, that's going to be enjoyed.
That's awesome, yeah.
But
that's like making a beat for like Kanye West or something.
Right? Yeah, right. When you track that perfect track, and you're like, oh yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the most rewarding. That, and just when you have something that's really old and you want to be able to preserve the history of it too. That's this probably neck and neck there.
Like, pun intended.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Shoot, man. How many guitars do you string in a day?
It depends on the day. It depends what the workload looks like. Yesterday was pretty heavy, so we got in a new shipment of Taylor branded acoustic guitars. And so we got a couple that are in the kind of mid-level range, and a couple that are like pushing $5,000. So kind of a varied range of stuff to have to deal with. And whenever we get in instruments, something that sets us apart from other music stores and other places like online is that, like, we have that small team of 3 to 4 guys, our service manager, and then the 2 guys that I mentioned. When we go through every instrument that comes in and we unbox it, we take it out of the case. If it comes with the case, we make sure that there's no obvious cosmetic issues, obvious playing issues, and then we'll make sure we'll put every instrument to our measurement spec of how it plays. We'll do a setup on it. We'll put it through the shop, and just like if it was a customer's guitar.
Is there anybody in the shop that you don't let touch the new guitars?
Not in the shop. There's a couple folks on the retail floor who
Stick to selling.
right, yeah.
Stick to the market.
But for the most part, we all try and stay pretty knowledgeable. And we're not like, it's not like somebody's going to come in and grab a guitar and be like, I'm going to work on this today. It's like, hey, let's all communicate and talk about what the better thing is, and who's going to work on this. So yeah, we all try and run a pretty tight ship.
So what's like a guesstimate of the amount of guitars that you're seeing each day?
Probably 3. I'd probably say 3 is my bag. On a really good day, like yesterday, there was all those, but they were brand new, so they didn't need a ton of work. I put out probably 8, and it was just very basic adjustments. But there are other days where I'm working on the same guitar all day long.
Man, and then like when you clock out that day and you know that you haven't finished the guitar.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's one on my bench right now that's haunting me.
Right.
It's
Sorry.
no, it's all right. No, it's just been hanging up there for probably close to a month now, a month or two.
You look at it every day like I'm gonna get you today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man.
Yeah. At what point do you develop the skill to ignore that feeling that you have to work overtime to knock it out, and then you like end up going home at 2 a.m. and not sleeping?
Probably there's a wall when you hit it, and you're like, I'm looking at this and I'm working on this, but I have no creative output. I can't think of a solution to this right now.
It takes a lot of creativity then.
It does. It can. Yeah, especially when you're dealing with, because it's both like math where you've got specs that you want to hit, numbers you want to see, and there's also like a feel that comes with it where you're doing a setup, you're doing work, or you're doing aesthetic work like I did on this one. All these like plates, there's these metal plates and then this plastic pick guard right there. I made those, and so I had to do put out the effort of like, okay, I got to map this out. What is this going to look like? What's my creative process here? And so there's stuff that comes in that's like that. And when you've been working on it all day, and you have hit an obstacle after obstacle, and you're like, I can either keep going for 4 more hours, or I can go home and be done. It's probably best to go home because you're not going to be able to fix it it's kind of like when you're writing a paper and you hit that, like, I'm out of words. I got nothing else to put out.
Right. Right. For sure. No, that happens all too often, especially in the music industry when you're doing something that you love. Like producers talk about that. I've definitely experienced that where I'll stay in the studio till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and just wonder the next day, like, why? Because I'll go back in and it'll just be a minor adjustment that I could have made.
Right.
But, and like I've heard something that Eminem leaves every day at 5 p.m. no matter what, and that's just the way to go about it, because somehow you don't trust yourself the next day. You're like, today is the day when everything's figured out.
Right.
I'll never be as smart as today.
Right. Exactly.
You come back the next day, you're just like, what the hell was that dumbass thinking yesterday?
Yeah. Look at what you did, and you're like, why did I do that? Yeah.
You tried to go the long way. Yeah. How many hands does a guitar pass through before it's completed?
Usually just 2. Usually just whatever tech is working on it. Sometimes it'll go from, depending on how cantankerous, how much it bites back. It might go through 2 of us, 2 techs. One of us to really do most of the work, and the other one to be like, okay, we got to tweak this and tweak that, and then it'll be ready. So usually just 1, but on rare occasions it'll go through a couple of us.
Gotcha. What are some, like, I guess you already mentioned, like, that guy that was shredding it.
Oh, yeah.
Have there been any moments where you've, like, made a guitar for somebody, like, last second before his daughter's birthday?
Yeah, there's some times that it happens, but it's less so like, birthdays. It's much more, hey, I've got a gig, I need this by this day, otherwise I won't have a guitar to play.
Right.
And that's when us in the repair shop and on the sales floor, we'll like look at each other and we'll look at the person and we'll just be like, so do you have a backup guitar? And it's shocking the amount of people who say no. It's like, no, you didn't have a plan B. So sometimes we'll put it out and be like,
You guys are
okay,
the pros.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah.
But sometimes we'll put it out and you'd be like, okay, we'll put you through the queue. We'll, put you at the top of the wait list and knock the sucker out. But that's pretty rare.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have the guys that like keep trying to pull that excuse. It's like,
Yeah. Constantly. There's some folks who it's every day, and it's every day that they come into the store, so.
Yeah, I feel you. I didn't want you to rat anybody out.
Oh no.
What's let's see. Yeah, I guess you'd already spoken about the future plans of Blues Angel.
Mhm.
What do you think are the future plans for yourself?
I'm gonna ride out, with blues, see how long, how far it takes me, and however long that is, and we'll see. In the Gulf area, there's not, like I said, there's not other shops that do repair work. It's us, and then there's a group over in Freeport, Driftwood Guitars, and that's about it until you get to New Orleans or I don't even
Right.
think Jacksonville has anywhere. But so it's there's advantages. There's advantages to being in a shop, and there's drawbacks. But for the most part, I'm gonna stick it out with blues until I can't anymore, or until life circumstances change. Ideally, I would like to be in like a design role at a guitar building company. Like
That'd be really cool.
yeah, it'd be pretty awesome. There's some stuff that comes along with that. Like, I've taken some classes and gotten some certifications to do some 3D modeling stuff, some CNC work, in the manufacturing space. But that's really like if I was to try and climb the ladder as far as I could get it, that's where I would shoot for.
What's the coolest guitar design that you could conceptualize?
Oh man, dude.
What do you dream about?
There's a couple like vintage style pieces that are pretty rare, hard to come by. That I would love to just recreate, print the plans out for, put those into a template, and then build those from scratch. And there's some stuff out there, some hardware, some electronics gadgets that just do things that most people, like most players, are just like, wow, that's more than I would ever need. And so I want to build stuff like that in that range. There's some tremolo stuff for doing dive bombs that it's called the Vega Trem. Like using their products on new builds would be awesome. Doing like Mastery Bridge, that's another bridge company. There's this like hardware like that is being able to use the highest quality parts on the highest quality builds I can is really what I want to be able to do. And I love to do that in a way that emulates kind of the vintage style.
Right.
So there's a couple companies that I've looked into, like Heritage Guitars and Harmony Guitars up in Michigan, and looked at their hiring page. Like maybe someday they'll have a position open and I can jump on it. But
For sure.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I like to look into. Eastman Guitars is another company that does that kind of thing, where they take these old style designs of these classics, all these OGs, and they twist them and make them, modern. And they give them different contours or different, lengths of the scale length, or different radiuses of the fretboard, and yeah, stuff like that. Just new. It refreshes the brain, refreshes the hands when you play.
Wow, man. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the new designs that come about from it.
Yeah.
Like a water fountain on a guitar somehow. As
Right.
playing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There are lights in the fretboard is a big one. There's
I saw one where you had like birds on the neck.
Actually, yeah, I've got the that's a brand, Paul Reed Smith guitars.
Okay.
And I've got one of their birds tattooed on my wrist. with some of like the Nashville numbers, so I can. It's right there on my fretting arm, so I can.
What do you mean by Nashville number?
It's the major. Basically, it's the major scale, and the numbers, lowercase, uppercase, denotes the major or minor tonality, and then there's the degree sign for the diminished.
Gotcha.
And it's right there on my forearm, so I can just when I'm playing, I can like look at it if I have to.
The Nashville numerals.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first tattoo. Was actually the birds, because that was what got me thinking. Like, whoa, you can put like birds on a guitar neck. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What else can I do?
Oh yeah.
So,
Right.
it's funny you should mention. Yeah.
You can put cheese on pasta. You know.
Yeah.
It's a gateway. Well, shoot, man. Yeah. Unless there's anything else that I can't even conceptualize about guitars that you want to bring to the table.
That's any questions you got, I'm here for. Or if you want to have anything repaired, come see me.
Yes, sir. Blues Angel.
Blues Angel Music. That's right.
Really cool stuff, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Make sure you tap in with Aidan at Blues Angel and start playing the guitar. I know I need to.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.